Letter to a Laborer by Moses David, written January the 20th, 1975, letter number 325. Dear one, greetings in Jesus' precious name. Thank you so much for your life story which was sent to us by your loved one who has been so good to you. We're sorry about all the troubles you've had, but are very thankful that you love the Lord and are trying your best to serve Him. We're sure you've been a real blessing in the many ways in which you've helped others and are now helping our ministry there. We want to thank you for being a faithful messenger and good steward of the Lord's business, and we hope you can continue to be so as long as the Lord so leads, and that you'll be happy in His service. We all love you and are praying for you, that you'll find your place where you can be content and feel fulfilled and satisfied with your tasks, however humble they may be. Remember that it is better to be a doorkeeper in the house of the Lord than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. You are a great help and much needed where you are, and we hope you'll be able to continue to serve the Lord with us. God has done a great deal for you and shown you much love and mercy and patience. But remember that not all voices are of God, and you must try the spirits to make sure that what you're hearing is of the Lord. If it is not according to His word, or causes you to be discontent or bitter, dissatisfied or unhappy or critical of others, these things are not of the Lord, and you must rebuke the enemy in Jesus' name when he tempts you with these negative thoughts. One of your best protections is to keep busy for God and obedient to those who love you in the Lord, and also to fill your mind and heart with positive, encouraging, strengthening, and faith-building thoughts from His Word, remembering, memorizing, and continually quoting to yourself and even to the enemy when he attacks you, and claiming such promises of God constantly as you cling to His Word. Some scriptures which have been a great blessing to me in times of distress, mental anguish, doubts and fears and battles with the enemy have been those like, "For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. If you've been offended, suffer it." The 23rd Psalm and the Lord's Prayer have always been a great comfort to me also in time of need, to know that the Lord would never leave nor forsake me, nor leave me comfortless. And I am always convicted by that part, "Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us." And where Jesus said, "We know that if we forgive not others their trespasses, neither will our Father in heaven forgive us." So we must ask Him in all humility to help us have mercy on others, knowing that we ourselves must also be forgiven for many sins, remembering continually what sinners we are, and how many mistakes we've made, helps greatly to keep us humble and to avoid that spirit of self-righteous pride which causes us to criticize and condemn others. It helps to always remember we're all sinners and that we all make mistakes, and that we must forgive one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven us. For it is no longer you that live, but Christ that lives in you. For you are now dead, and your life is hid with Christ in God. You don't have to take your life, for God has already taken it. When you yielded on His altar of sacrifice so long ago and asked Him to take it, He did, and He's been trying to use it for His glory ever since, as much as you will let Him. so keep it that way. It's in His hands. You are His, and He loves you, and is doing His best for you in trying to make you useful and happy in His service for others, that you might bring them life and happiness too, as you have found it in Jesus. Stay close to Him, and He'll never fail you. He'll never forsake you. He'll never let you down. Even though He may not always answer just the way we'd like, keep trusting Him, and He'll never fail. Keep loving others, and they will love you. Keep serving Jesus, and He'll serve you well. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. You'll find some good thoughts along this line that may be helpful to you in some of our letters dealing with the spiritual attacks of the enemy, and it might be helpful if you'd study them prayerfully and diligently heed their admonitions. Also remember, 1 can chase 1,000, but 2 can put 10,000 to flight, and it helps greatly to have someone else pray with you when you feel oppressed or distressed or attacked by the enemy. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. And that if any 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. So there is great power in united prayer together. You should be very thankful that the Lord loved you so as to give you such a strong prayer warrior to stand by your side in time of trial and testing, someone who loves you and is greatly concerned about you and really cares for you in the Lord. Never be ashamed to ask for help or prayer when you need it. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. Meanwhile, despise not the day of small things, or whatever humble tasks the Lord may call you to perform. The less responsibility you have, the less you will be held responsible for. But if you are faithful in the small things, the Lord will commit greater things to your care when you have proven that you can be trusted with them. In the meantime, in everything give thanks. Be thankful for all things, and in whatsoever state you're in, whether abounding or abased. Be thankful for your many blessings, and that Jesus loves you, and your loved one loves you, and we all love you, and are praying for you, that you'll make it by continuing to be faithful, full of faith and love in Jesus. Your Father and servant in the Lord, David. God bless and keep you, and make you a blessing. Memorize scriptures and resist the devil.